Hello, YouTubians! Welcome to episode 1 of A Scotsman on the Loose. So I figured, right, what are we going to do? Give you the intro, we're going to do some adventure-y things. So I figured the first thing we would do is start off with an adventure-y thing that basically anybody can do. As long as you have a vehicle, you can do this. And what are we going to do? We're going to do the notorious $1 Million Highway. Red Mountain Pass, as it's called. This is the stretch of road from Ouray to the top of Red Mountain Pass, which is 13 miles that direction, uphill here, and it's considered one of the most dangerous roads in the United States. And we will explain why. So without further ado, let's go and do the Red Mountain Pass, the $1 Million Highway, episode 1 of A Scotsman on the Loose. Right, nothing coming. Let's rock and roll. Alright, we're good. So here we are climbing out of Ouray. Ouray's down there on the right. We're heading up. There's mountain passes, winding roads, steep drop-offs. Red Mountain Summit, 13 miles from here. So, let's go for it and see what happens. Over there on the right hand side is the Ouray Ice Park. Super cool spot right there. That's where they do all the ice climbing. We will actually do a segment from there, but it's going to be towards the end of the year. Unfortunately, we've run out of time this year. They're closing the park, I believe, tomorrow because the ice is not as good as it could be. It's starting to fall down in big chunks, and we don't want to be hit by a big chunk of ice. So climbing out of town, we're getting into the first of the switchback areas, and as you can see, the scenery up here is just absolutely stunning. Not a bad spot at all. There's town down there on the left hand side, looking back down the valley. Beautiful spot. Gorgeous day. Truckers, mountain passes ahead. Alternative routes advised if you can't handle this in your truck. So, climbing up out of town. This is it, the start of the notorious Red Mountain Pass. So what makes this road dangerous? Why do people consider this road dangerous? Well, it is a narrow road. It is a shelf road going up the mountain. Lots of twists and turns, a lot of dangerous aspects to it. There's certain things about this road, for instance, apart from this section here, there are no guardrails on this road. There are no shoulders. There are steep drop-offs. There are avalanche risks, rockfall risks. If you go over the side of the road, it's a long way down. And that's one of the reasons people get so freaked out about this road. There are big drop-offs and there's not a lot of forgiveness on it. This road was originally built in the 1880s, I believe, 1882, somewhere around about there, by a Russian guy called Otto Myers, who built it as a toll road originally, running from Ouray to Silverton, where they would take ore from the mines here, take it by horse and cart over the mountains, drop it off at Silverton at the railhead, and then the railroad would take off and do whatever it is they do with ore, do the processy thing somewhere. So that's what it was originally for, a toll road. It used to be a lot narrower than this, obviously. It was a one-lane shelf road that they used to come up and down here with horses and carts. So we kind of got the luxury of being able to do it in a vehicle now. Obviously in a much shorter time frame as well. And as you can see, off to my right there are no guardrails. And this is a twisty section of road, so you really want to treat it with some respect. You do not want to get too close to the edge. You do not want to be swerving around on this road. You don't want to be doing anything crazy like that. You just want to be taking it nice and steady, doing the speed limit. So this is a Bear Creek tunnel here. At the bottom of the Bear Creek trailhead, there's a whole bunch of trails that you go off in all different directions from here. You can go hiking all over the place. A great little spot on the road. And we're coming into the part that gives people the heebie-jeebies. Now I can tell straight away that the people in front of me in the Jeep are probably struggling for the heebie-jeebies because they are doing like 10 miles an hour. Very slow. Now this overlook here, oh thank you, they're pulling over. This overlook here is actually, there's a waterfall that runs down from the left here, comes underneath the road under the bridge, and then drops way down into the gorge down there. It's a beautiful spot. It's probably starting to run now because the temperature is heating up. We're not as cold as it was. We do actually have a winter storm watch for this afternoon later on today, so it's going to be interesting to see what the weather does later. So that's why I figured I would do this now. So, the scary bit of the road, rockfall area for the next mile. Do not stop, stand or park anywhere on this road. And they mean that. There's frequently big rockfalls come down here from the left and go down there over to the right. And as I said, you can tell this section here, no guardrails, and that's a long way down into that gorge. So you might want to respect this section of the road in particular. There are no guardrails on this road for a reason, because if there were guardrails here, every time there was an avalanche or a rock slide, it would come down, hit the road, hit the guardrails, and then tear the guardrails off and take half the road with it. So that's the reason there's no guardrails. It's not just to scare people, it's for actual good reason. They actually had an incident here last summer where there was a big rock slide, and it's the area's coming up here on the left, where a big rock slide, mudslide came down, actually hit the road and took away half of the road, even without a guardrail in place. So it can happen. Yeah. So, and that was unexpected. It came down and luckily nobody was hurt. That was just around the corner here. You can see that white chute to the left and that new section of culvert right there on the right hand side. That's where that rock slide came in and actually knocked out this section of the road. We were actually down to one lane highway for a number of months until they got that fixed. There was big delays here because of the road work that was ongoing. So this road's actually been closed for the last 19 days. Well, I was saying the last 19 days. It reopened on Monday. It's now Saturday. So it's been open for just over a week. Or just about a week. But it was closed for 19 days due to a massive series of avalanches that came down over the road, blocking it all together. We had 60 feet of snow on the road, and it was impassable, so the road was shut. The only way to get to Silverton and Durango was to go all the way around via Telluride, down to Durango that way, and then back up to Silverton if you wanted to get to Silverton. So as you can tell, they did an incredible job getting this road open. The CDOT guys that were working on this road were working 24/7 and did a remarkable job getting the road open in 19 days. To put it into perspective, this is one of the most avalanche-prone roads apparently in the United States. There's more avalanches per mile on this section of road, on this particular 13-mile section of road, than there is anywhere else in the country. They had, I believe, nearly 60 avalanches came down here over the 19-day period that it was closed. So the avalanche risk is significant. You definitely don't want to be here when that happens, because, as I say, you wind up going in that direction, and I'm just made for a bad day. It is quite beautiful, though, there's no doubt about that. Dangerous, but beautiful. And you can see on either side of the road, you can see slides where it's like skidded down the mountain. And there's tracks down the side of the mountain in several places where they've obviously had avalanches and snowfalls. So coming around the corner here, this is incredible actually. This is the snow shed. This was actually designed. There's actually a huge avalanche chute that comes down from there on the left-hand side. That comes down here, and as you can see, I'll actually slow down, maybe even stop here for a moment. But up ahead there, you've got the snow shed, which is designed to protect people in the event of an avalanche. To the right of it, that is a gorge, and that gorge is full of snow. I mean, there's 60, 70 feet of snow in there. Incredible amount of snow. Let me just adjust this light a touch. So there's an incredible amount of snow in there. It's 60 or 70 feet deep. It came down through that chute over there to the left and actually enveloped the whole snow tunnel. The snow shed is meant to be here to save people if there's an avalanche comes down. But this avalanche was so big that it basically enveloped both sides of the tunnel and filled the tunnel with snow. So like I say, that gorge over there, that's a gorge full of snow. You can tell how much snow fell in there. And if you look in here, you can actually see the amount of snow that's in the snow tunnel itself. This snow tunnel filled almost to the roof. So if you had a bit in there when that snowfall came down, then in all honesty, it wouldn't have done you much good. Now, the one thing is that CDOT actually dropped that avalanche on purpose. That didn't come down by accident. They flew up there by helicopter and dropped charges on it to let it come down on purpose, and the road was already closed when they did that, but they didn't expect it to be quite as savage and large as it was. And it blocked the road. 19 days. Apparently it's set like concrete. The snow was 60 feet deep on the highway. So an incredible amount of snow on there. But they've cleared it out. So do we still have the risk of avalanches right now? Yeah, sure we do. Not as bad, because a buddy of mine who's on the Ouray Mountain Rescue was explaining to me yesterday that with it heating up, the snow kind of packs down on itself and it's less likely to have an avalanche at this time of the year because of the warming up of the ground. So hopefully he's right and all that stuff stays up there. And speaking of the Ouray Mountain Rescue, that's an incredible group of guys and girls here in town. One of the best mountain rescue outfits in the country. And totally voluntary, so they rely heavily on donations. So the hat I'm wearing is actually a Ouray Mountain Rescue hat. So there are stores and places in town that sell Ouray Mountain Rescue apparel. So if you're in town in Ouray, please stop in and buy a hat, a t-shirt, whatever. Every penny of proceeds from the sales of their stuff actually goes directly back to the Ouray Mountain Rescue. So, but just by simply buying a hat, you're helping the Ouray Mountain Rescue save people in the mountains, and you never know, you could be one of them. So this section of the valley here, this is where it actually flattens out. This is Crystal Lake over on the right hand side. You can't actually see it at the moment because it is frozen. And Crystal Lake is basically the reservoir for the water for the city of Ouray. So we get all our water from this lake here. Like I say, frozen. I don't know if you can see that, but there was a huge avalanche came down over there a couple of weeks ago. Actually scoured all the trees down up there, and that's a big white patch you can see up there. So up ahead here, you've got Red Mountain 1 and 2, and I believe Red Mountain 3 just poking out over the back there. These are the Red Mountains. Now in the summer, these are actually red. In the winter, they're obviously white because they're covered in snow, and snow is white, not red. So when you drive up here in the summer, these mountains are a vivid red colour. It's a red soil, red clay type surface up there, red rock, and incredible view in the summer. But yeah, this is the flat section through Ironton Park. Ironton Park's over there on the left, and by pulling into Ironton Park, there's actually a whole set of Nordic ski trails and everything over here on the left. And Ironton Park's also one of the gateways to many of the roads that take you up into the mountains for jeeping in the summer, which are obviously closed at the moment because there's too much snow on them, and probably won't be open, I would imagine, until coming close to the end of June, even early July, before the jeep roads are open again. So yeah, so that all takes place kind of off to the left here. You'll see, as you see the parking lot coming up here in a second, for Ironton Park. Yep, here we go. And it doesn't look like there's anybody in there today, which is surprising. Oh no, there's a bunch of people obviously up there like skiing or backcountry skiing. Backcountry skiing's a thing that we need to try. This is where you get the skis with the skins on them. You put these skins onto the skis and you can ski uphill, take your skins off and come whizzing back downhill again. So we need to give that a go. It sounds like a lot of hard work, to be honest, but we'll see how it goes. My personal thing with skiing is to jump in the chairlift, go up the top, get off, take in the nice views, slowly swoosh my way down the mountain, maybe stopping at a couple of alpine bars en route, a couple of hot toddies, spiced rum drinks, get down to the bottom of the mountain in a very civilised manner. But we'll need to try this backcountry malarkey and see how that goes. Hopefully that doesn't kill us either. Because again, like I've said many times, dying is not really an option on this journey of YouTube. So, like I say, an easy adventure to get rolling. This is you can do this in any vehicle. I wouldn't do this route in the winter when it's snowing heavily, or when there's torrential rain, ice, any of those conditions, because this road is unforgiving. And if you lose it anywhere on this road, you are going over the edge and disappearing and not being seen until sometime in the summer. Just passing 10,000 feet here. And heading on up. Back in at 25 miles an hour again, so slow it down. As I've said, the speed limit on this road is 25 miles an hour for a majority of it, and that's just, it's not a joke 25 miles an hour. They actually really want you to do that, because there are obviously a lot of blind twists and bends on this road. Take this one for instance. This is a full 180 degrees switchback. Don't want to be meeting somebody coming down this way that you can't see, and you literally can't see them if they're coming, so do bear that in mind. There's obviously a lot of mining history in this area as well. The whole area is riddled with mines. I mean, that's the whole reason these roads exist, is because of the mining. You know, back in the days, there was roads. You can see there's roads going off here. There's one actually going off here to the left. That's County Road 31, which is actually closed due to snow, but guys still park up the other side of the road and go backcountry skiing from there. But all of these old mine roads go way up into the mountains. They are single track shelf roads, and once they start opening up, we will start doing some segments on them, because it truly is awesome. There are some scary roads up there. You've got Black Bear Pass, Imogen Pass, Ophir Pass, Hurricane Pass, all spectacular. Avalanche area, no stopping. We'll pay heed to that. Not sure why they put signs up there warning me of avalanches. I'd rather not know there was an avalanche area up ahead. I mean, obviously it's for stopping. They don't want people stopping on the road. But an avalanche coming? I'm really not sure I want to know about it. Just let it hit me, boom, thud, over the side, done. Find my body in the summer. Now, luckily we are driving the perfect platform for this particular road. I am driving an LR4 Land Rover. Excellent product. I would love to say that after my intro, Land Rover sent me a Land Rover just to do this in, but they didn't. This is actually mine. But Land Rover, if you're watching, the new Defender that's coming out, send me one of them. I will test it in the mountains for you and happily endorse your product. Oh, no, not endorse it, but I will drive around in it and say it's awesome. Because this one's not too bad. I do like the Land Rovers. Bic, by the way, you've not sent me any pens yet, so I'm kind of upset at you. So this that we're coming up to here is actually the Eldorado mine. that's right here on the roadside, and you can see some of the old mine buildings and such like up above there, maybe not. But the Eldorado mine actually runs from here on this side of Red Mountain Pass 11 miles clean through the mountain all the way through to Telluride. It comes out in the Via Ferrata until just below the Via Ferrata in Telluride. And the Via Ferrata, by the way, that's something we definitely will be doing. That's where you crab along a couple of 100 feet high cliff face with massive exposure, and you do it clipping on with little lanyard things without dying, hopefully. So there's the entrance into the Eldorado mine there on the left hand side, and that, like I say, goes 11 miles through the mountain that direction, which is pretty cool. I'm actually trying to finagle my way into getting into that mine to do a segment on that. I know that the mine is still accessible because there's guys in there doing mitigation work, but if I can find some way of getting in there to do a segment of walking from here to Telluride, I mean, how cool would that be? So, Red Mountain up there on the left-hand side. I think that's Red Mountain 2. Red Mountain 3's up above it up there, so hence the reason Red Mountain Pass. Quite spectacular. Hopefully the camera outside is picking all this up. Wiggly bits, 10 miles an hour. Pay heed to the wiggly bits. I mean, there is no hurry on this road. Bear in mind, it is a scenic drive. So there's no reason to be treating this like an IndyCar track or Formula One circuit or something like that. I mean, the whole point of this journey is to enjoy the scenery, so just take it steady. And if for whatever reason you do wind up stuck behind somebody, don't attempt to overtake them. There's no point. It's a... You're going to the same place. There's zero point in risking your life just to get by somebody to save a couple of minutes on this road. Don't do it. And conversely, if you are driving up the road and somebody comes up behind you and you think they're tailgating you, don't let them pressure you into thinking that you need to go faster. There are spots on the road where you can pull over and let somebody else go by you. So don't at any point feel threatened like that you have to speed up if somebody comes in behind you. But here we are, we're pretty much at the top of the pass now, I believe. It's not far from here. There is a super cool place just up over the back of these trees here called Red Mountain Lodge, which is owned by some friends of mine. They do backcountry skiing and they have luxury accommodation up there. So check that out on the internet. Red Mountain Lodge in the San Juan Mountains. Their facility up there is astonishing. And they do a great job. Great food. They have a nice bar there for residents. And they do all the guiding in the area. So definitely worth checking them out. So here we are, the top of Red Mountain Pass, the notorious Red Mountain Pass. Not that difficult of a journey, to be honest. We didn't die, which is always good. So, the first adventure that we've embarked on, a relatively easy one, in my opinion. But it's one that actually scares a lot of people, so we did it. Red Mountain Pass. At the top. So we'll figure out what we're going to do on next episode. Do the subscribe-y thing. Again, as usual, there's some button thing somewhere. I'm already up to like a massive 37 subscribers. Can't believe there's that many people interested in what I'm doing. I think 37 of them are friends of mine, but hey, we'll see what happens. But anyway, take care, guys. It's been a fun little drive up here, and we'll see you next time round on a Scotsman on the Loose. Keep watching. Got any ideas of anything you want to see? Let me know. We'll see if we can do it. Okay? Take care.